All right, we should be back online.
Ooh.
Make sure. Yeah, we are very professional here at the Popcast. Just randomly losing internet for no reason. Okay, we should be back in action.
Yeah, looks like we are.
Okay. All right, we'll let folks filter back in. Oh, nice and embarrassing, right? I like that. Love having problems. Yeah. All right, we're back. Yeah, so we have the members stream going, the Prime member stream going, and we have the public facing stream going. It should be working.
Oh, okay. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny too is it wouldn't actually let me schedule a stream. We have a stream scheduled with Tom Constantino for next week.
Mm-hmm.
I had to hijack that scheduled stream for this.
Oh wow.
Oh, sorry, Tom. Very odd. Back in action now. Yeah, YouTube just flipped out, I guess.
Yeah, it's really, really weird, and it wasn't CBS, guys. It definitely was not CBS.
I don't think so. It was just YouTube. Just was like, nah, dog, not today. That's never happened before. Last time this happened, it was CBS though. Remember that? It was like during the Star Trek First Contact Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Chappie, we're not sure what happened, but we're glad that you're back. And here in a few minutes, we'll get back to.
Archmage has a good point. It's possible that my screeners are not 100% complete, and maybe I'm missing establishing shots on the screeners.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wonder if that's the case. I want to go check that out, Archmage, after the show. But then again, Robert Meyer Burnett's had the same problem, and he had seen just the episode straight up. So. All right, we're gonna let people cycle back in here. We just lost like 100 people, so good times. Yeah, we should be back. Let me check. You're in the members section right now.
I have them both up, so I've got the member one here, and then
there's people back in that one.
Gavin and Archmage Frey are in the free one. And then the members one, we've got Chappie, Christopher Mays, Frey again.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, we're going to wait for you guys to come in. I'm so sorry that happened. Yeah, something happened where, so RMB didn't get all the same early access. It didn't get early access until after the first two episodes. It was when we had given it to him. All right, so I don't know what happened, but we're sorry. And we're going to let people cycle back in. And I think that they will, hopefully. All the promotional stuff that we did before is completely gone now. But, it's okay. Whatever. We're back. The chat's back. I wonder how the chat returned. Like, you didn't leave the page. Because I didn't leave that page either. And now it's back. Something went going on YouTube. I also couldn't schedule. Like, when it ended, I immediately refreshed. Went back in there, was trying to schedule another stream to restart, and it wouldn't let me do it. It was just, he wanted me to go live right away, and I was like, oh, maybe he wants me to go live in the old one, but then the old one was gone, so that couldn't be the case. I don't know, but we're back now. Sorry for that, guys. We're going to let people cycle back in them before we continue the review.
For sure.
What do you want to talk about while we're waiting for at least a few more people?
Oh, Christopher Mays wants to know where my mom is. Well, she's probably here. I have a theory about what happened to us. Salty Trekker got mad at me for not being on the show today, and so he somehow YouTube nuked us, and my mom's over there now. That's what's going on.
He DDoSed.
Yeah. Christopher, thank you for gifting that to her. I actually just texted her to let her to tell her to get her butt back over here.
She's here.
Good. Okay. Hey, there she is. Okay.
All right. You spend 40 minutes on the second episode of SG1. I could. Don't mess with me. I could. I can spend an hour talking about every episode of SG1. I'm not gonna do that though. No one wants to see that. All right. So, like I said, we have 2 member sections, but the member section for Unleashed starts shortly after the Unleashed show ends, like a couple seconds after, because like you can't have 2 streams going to the same channel as far as I know, or at least I couldn't do it. So we're waiting for people to come back. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that's set up.
Okay. While he's doing that, for those of you who haven't heard, I'm actually in the process of moving, so that's why my setup looks totally different, and I apologize for all the backlight. I normally would not have that, but I'll be about 2.5 weeks. I'll be into my new spot. So
your internet connection is sort of crazy today. What's going on with it?
Me, yeah, it's well, that's because I use the T-Mobile 5G business thing, so it's not hardwired. And some days it's great, and other days not so much. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I think I have the same T-Mobile thing, but I don't use it here at my house. I use it at my shop because it's super affordable. But yeah,
it's only like 30. I think it's like $35 on my bill. And some days I'll get like as much as 500 down. It'll be lightning,
Really?
some days. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten that much down, but that sounds good.
But the more people that get on it, the slower it gets. So it was definitely better when I first got it. I've noticed.
Yep. I'm setting this up. We're waiting for people to come on in. Come on in, guys. We're going to continue the review. Sorry for the delay. But come on back in, and we're going to start right back up. As soon as I see that counter at least half what we were before, we can start again.
Sure. Poor mother's confused, so. Yeah, he says, go watch the final 5 minutes on Paramount Plus while we wait. So we see the shot we missed, apparently.
Yeah, I actually have that up open already. I pushed that the second the internet went out. I just pushed it to the end. I haven't seen it yet though.
Righty.
All right, we're almost there. All right. Such a weird thing, man. Of course, it's like when Shane's gone. Usually, my problem on stream is I'm on my end, everything's good, but Shane has all kinds of problems. Shane's not here, so like the bad luck had to follow the stream in a way. I was like, well, I can't plague Shane with his crappy internet connection and horrible computer. I think I'm just gonna, DDoS the entire stream. Or it was Salty Tracker. I bet you it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I did see that part. We were going to get to that line of Ortega and Spock leaner. Ugh, so cringe.
Yeah.
So cringe, man. Okay, guys, we're going to continue the review. Hopefully you're here from last. We got enough people, I think. If you are watching this after the fact and you're confused as to what the hell just happened, we just lost connection. It just, for some reason, never happened before. It just dropped. I can't tell you why. It just completely dropped. And we had to reschedule. And so we don't just have one stream. We actually have 3 streams. So I had to restream. I had to reschedule all those streams and restart. So it took a second. But we are back. And I'm just making sure the connection is good before I start up again.
Yeah, Okay. Okay. That's weird. I just saw the man. Those are some good looking ships. So I just saw the part with the meteor with the shuttles
Oh,
getting
you
the
did?
asteroids. Yeah.
Oh, no, I missed that, huh? Okay. All right, my friends. Let's pump it back up here. I think we have enough people.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let me go to that page. All right. You know what's interesting too is oh yeah, so Penny is a member of the Unleashed channel, not the Prime channel.
Oh yeah, Chris, that's what you did. You gifted her in there, but that's fine. She's still here with us, just in the other chat.
Yeah, and when we go to the member section, we'll have both chats up. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll. Oh, and of course, Paramount also decided to stop working too. It's actually, it was Paramount. They're like, we can't claim on more. He'll just complain about it. We gotta shut him down another way. I'm almost positive after this last video we put out, we're gonna lose all access to Paramount and stuff because we were so critical.
Oh. Well, it shouldn't be that way, So I mean, you shouldn't have to shill to keep your access. Like they just need to make better stuff.
I mean, I agree. I agree. I'm just assuming that's how it's going to play out. So
yeah. So Christopher Mays has a question here. I know you said you can't see the membership milestones. So he's been a member for 4 months.
Wow.
And he wants to know if the captain's girlfriend was the JAG prosecutor, how is she also captain of a ship? I don't think they've answered that question.
Yeah, they haven't answered that question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Wait, so she's the captain of a ship, a working ship, not just like captain in rank. She's actually the captain of a ship.
Yeah, no, they both ships are shown beautifully in this episode a couple times. Like they're both
right.
Constitution
How is
class.
she also a JAG officer? That's a great and at the very beginning they're like her ship calls her. That's correct. That's very odd. That's very odd. Very odd, my friend. That's interesting. They should explain that. Now they're not gonna explain it.
Chappie says trick reasons. There's your answer. Okay.
Reasons. Okay, let's start it back up. I'm just getting that back going. All right, we'll make sure I'm seeing all the chat.
Yeah, and I apologize.
Super feminism.
Right. Apologize for my low quality today. It's a bummer. I just did a speed test. It should be better than this, so I don't know what's going on.
And what are you doing, bro? Huh? Oh, you know what? You have too much YouPorn on in the background. Less. The second.
Hey man, being single for I know, right?
The second you're single, there's
months,
like 15 screens up. Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting back on the review. So this is where we picked up, or we left off. Lon is hurt. They got to go to, he's explaining the whole super totem thing with all their memories or whatever. They have to go to, now there's a clock on the episode. Remember, Leon being hurt. She has to see a real doctor. So they're going to have to go to the palace and they're going to try to convince the God King, Yeoman, whatever, to help them with Lon.
Well, they're going because they think their memories are somehow stored in a box or something. It was weird. I don't know.
Yes, because the guy tells them that the people in the palace keep their memories. So they immediately say, "Oh, then our memories must be stored in a box." It's a very weird. Like they're professional Starfleet members from the future, and their first thought was they must keep our memories in a box. I'm like, he's a doctor, bro. Like, why wouldn't his first thought be there's something environmental going on, and the people at the palace
Right.
are shielded from those environmental effects? Like, I'm not a doctor. My first thought was radiation.
Well, I think
Immediately.
that's why Zach, when he gets in there and he's fighting with Pike, laughs at him. He's like, "I can't believe you believe that stupid," you know. And then that's when he tells him about the palace being, you know, what's protecting them from the radiation and stuff.
All right. I mean, dude, Pike should be laughed at. He should, but maybe it's because they lost their memories, so they're just believing whatever they're being told.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. That makes more sense. Because,
Yeah.
but then again, Venga had enough ability. He didn't have the memory to heal her, but he knew enough to I don't know. It's sort of a gray area. Again, I hate this whole idea that they had to have a bad guy and a good guy. They couldn't just tell a really compelling story, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. We're back on the bridge with Spock. Is this that line that you're referring to? Their interaction is so awkward for some reason. Like the way Ortega and Spock interact is very awkward to me.
Yeah, right here, this is where Spock, he forgot who he was, so he's looking at the pad to remind himself of who he is. And she's about to lose her ship altogether because she just kind of freaks out here. And, you know.
All right. Yeah, not good luck for Ortega. All right. Yeah, she goes to the turbo lift. She's freaking out.
Yeah.
How does this thing work? I don't know.
I've never, now, I know this sounds stupid. I want to give the ship an up. I've never seen this before in Star Trek. You know, follow the illuminated, like, where it's like, here's how you get to your room. Follow the illuminated panels or whatever.
I mean,
have you ever seen? Has that ever been in Star Trek before?
I've never seen that, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a pretty big ship. I can see people getting lost their first couple weeks living there. You know?
Oh yeah.
Imagine not imagine every time you have to turn on your GPS. Like, can you please do the illuminating thing, ship? And like, there's like, I mean, that's a cool shot. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna upload that because that sort of adds to the lore of the ship. You know?
Yeah. And look at she's out of it. Poor Chapel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this frightened, scared is not a good look on Ortegas at all.
No,
yeah.
it's not. No, it's not. And you know what's interesting about this? You had more missed opportunity. You had a Vulcan that could have been shielded from the effects of the radiation. You had an Elorian, an advanced, augmented Relorian that could have been shielded. You could have actually used these characters to build the character, to add more deeply to their background and to show them with these like extra abilities. It could have added to the character. It could have added to the enjoyment of the audience too, but instead, nope. All right, back on the planet. Violence has to happen. By the way, like because every modern show, and I'm not against it. I'm just saying, this is a missed opportunity. Another missed opportunity. Yeah. All right, let's get into the palace. Got past Ortega freaking out, having a breakdown, yelling and screaming at the ship, blah, blah, blah.
She's like, I'm Ortegas and I fly the ship. It was like her mantra.
And I fly the ship. I'm Ortegas and I fly the ship. Okay, we get it, Ortegas. Thanks. Moving on. I'm just going to pass that because it didn't really add anything to anything.
Yeah.
So she saves the day, whatever, with the ship. Back on the planet. They're in the palace. This palace is so ornate. Like, do you realize that we are dealing with a primitive people that where anyone outside the palace forgets their memories, everyone inside remembers them, but they got like screen printed banners and beautiful statues and rugs. Like, these are clearly more than just like this looks. It doesn't fit the aesthetic of everything outside. Like, none of this fits.
So Gavin says that in the TNG pilot episode Encounter at Farpoint, they had the same gimmick with the panels showing people the way. So that's cool. So, okay.
That's cool.
Thank you for that, Gavin.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, this is kind of, especially if this is supposed to be the same planet that the cage and the menagerie took place. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. Is almost like medieval timesy kind of royalty looking stuff here.
Yeah. Like the period doesn't fit. In fact, that's a downvote for me because the period doesn't fit. Like this aesthetic doesn't fit the rest of the planet whatsoever. It's complete. Looks like a complete different episode almost. All right. So then he beats up the yeoman.
I want to give that Pike. Finally, I get to see him be a badass, beat the hell out of this dude. He was about to kill this guy until he got his memory back. Like, did you notice that? Like, he was straight up, like, he got his memory back just before he was about to murder that fool.
Yeah, that was cool. Like I'm gonna give it up too because I did like the fact that Pike was featured here. Pike was the guy who saves the day. He was the last to succumb to the memory thing. He was sort of leading the charge the entire time.
Yeah.
And I need Pike to do that because Pike is supposed to be the main character. From my perspective, maybe from everyone's perspective, he's not. Maybe they're all the main character. No, you gotta have someone to focus on. And I don't want to focus on the 19-year-old Nurse Chapel anymore. I want to focus on the main characters. And for me, the main characters are Pike, Una, and Spock. That's what I want to focus on.
Exactly. Just like you had Kirk and Spock and Bones. These are these are our three, for this show.
I want to focus on these characters. I don't want there to be entire episodes wrapped around the characters. And I feel like La'an is way too much, way too focused on. Anyways, she does great. And he does awesome. He doesn't kill her because he gets his memories back. Kill him. Back on the ship, I am Ortega, and I fly the ship.
Fly the ship.
I am Ortega.
She's about to do her little spirally doodah blast, fly through an asteroid or whatever. That right there, yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What? It's like everyone, like they're always in the asteroid belt. Like, can the ship just like park somewhere and wait, or does it always have to go through an asteroid belt? Every episode,
it's space. Can't they like go above it or below it? Or
every episode, the ship is like in an asteroid, a hail of asteroids or something. It's always something with this. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess they just want some kind of device so they can show off Ortega's awesome flying skills. I guess I don't know.
I just feel like it's used too much. They're always in like space is a big place. You're not flying through a cave or something.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
big place.
Yeah. It's like
I don't know. It's fine. Ortega is good. I am Ortega. I fly the ship. Back on the planet, he opens up that box and it's just a bunch of crap. Of course, it's not his memories.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous notion. But they're going to get their memories back now that they're being shielded from the radiation. It's a temporary effect.
Yeah.
He was literally going to show them, I'm going to shoot them.
Yeah.
He's like, so you're no good to me then. Cool.
Right?
He doesn't shoot him.
Yeah. Now he has his memory.
Look, I love it. It's like, it goes from like mean to like soft Pike.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
I'm gonna kill you.
I'll kill you. Oh my God,
buddy.
I'm sorry.
Right? I'm gonna kill you. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Yeah, that's cool. That was good. Again, another upvote for me. Pike. I like Anson Mount, dude. I like.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
I even liked him when he played that silent character in that horrible Marvel. Yeah, Inhumans.
Yeah,
I didn't like the show.
Black Bolt or whatever.
Or movies, whatever. Yeah. Boy, like if you have a character, you don't pick the best. You don't take the best actor in your squad of actors and silence him.
Yeah.
What a mistake that was.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's a good Pike. Very good Pike. He's Star Trek. It works.
Yeah.
But he's gotta deal with like this sort of lazy writing all the time, and the fact that they are constantly driving him away from the ship or the main story. And when they do, they're putting him in situations where he's more useful as the ship's cook than he is the captain. It's very frustrating.
It is, and there's only 10 episodes, and he wasn't in 3 of them so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't want to add anything to it, but there's an episode coming up. I think you might have already seen it at some point. There's an episode coming up where this is a common problem. Like, Pike is not in the show enough. He's just not. And it's very focused on Lon and Spock. Really, really, like, those are the real main characters. And Lon even more than Spock sometimes. And I don't understand why there's so much focus being put on these characters that are just support. They should just be supporting characters.
Yeah.
And why does modern Star Trek, why is it so afraid to make the captain of the ship the main character? They couldn't do it in any season of Discovery. They had to make every character other than the captain the main character. The captain was always just a character in the story.
Jesus, man! In Discovery, the Klingons ate the freaking captain. That I'll never get over that.
It's very odd. Like, why the captain is the main character? I don't know why. Why is that such a problem? It's very, very interesting, man. Oh, even in Lower Decks, the main character is not the captain. It's the daughter of the captain who works in the Lower Decks. I don't know. It's like we want to be clever, at the same time we're lazy. So, like, the writers want to be clever and do something different, but at the same time they're also very lazy in the way they approach, like, storytelling, and it's very obvious to people.
Oh, so Christopher's saying the reason Pike's been in it so little this season is, I guess, Anson Mount just had a kid during this. Like,
the first episode, he couldn't shoot the first episode. But here's the deal, guys. You don't have to shoot the episodes in a linear way, okay? Like, that's
especially
a common misconception about movies and TV. When you're shooting things, you don't have to shoot things linearly. You can make episode 10, then make episode 4, then 7. Shoot, you can do scenes from episodes that aren't even involved with each other. In fact, that's the most efficient way. If you got shots in Toronto, then do all the shots for all the episodes coming up. You don't do one episode at a time in a linear way.
Yeah.
If they're doing that, then they haven't been doing this very long, because that's not the way efficient studios run. Which means that if he couldn't be around for the first episode, then shoot other people's scenes. Like, yeah, don't think so linearly. Exactly. Like, if for seriously, like, if you don't have, even if the guy wasn't around for the first few months of shooting, you could have gotten all the other shots out of the way and shot Pike's shots last.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. Very odd.
It's a very new Trek thing, though, this whole, like, not focusing on captains. Like, all of the new Trek is like that, it seems like.
Yeah, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like Lower Decks, though. I like that show a lot. It's funny. All right. So they're gonna get the memories back. That's pretty much the end of it. I do want to get to that shot where they're pulling the ships, though.
I believe that's coming up here.
Oh,
yes, here you go.
There it is. Yeah, I didn't see that in the screener. Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad that happened.
And then we get the little payoff here. I guess they get back together. She smooches him.
Pike has the most bomb quarters ever.
Right.
This guy has like there's a fireplace. You see this? You can't see it. There's a fireplace, dude.
And he also has that big video wall that makes it look like, he's home. It looked like he was outside.
Look at this. He's got an open fireplace, a huge open floor plan with a kitchen, a full kitchen. This guy is living in like a suite at the Bellagio, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, he's the captain. Although Kirk's quarters never were that nice.
No. Like this on like a proper spacefaring ship. Like this would be so excessive that they wouldn't do it. But we are in an alternate timeline where it doesn't matter if it's lavish and ridiculous and makes no sense because we can do what we want now.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Anthony Mark, I agree. Captain Battelle is a very attractive woman, and Anson Mount is, you know, a handsome man. So they do make an attractive couple.
Yeah, literally every single person on this show is attractive.
Yeah.
Even the older woman, even Carol Kane. I'm like,
Carol Kane. Yeah.
That uniform is hugging you tightly, girl.
Yeah.
Like you got, it's in the right places. No, everyone in Strange New World is hot, dude. They're all hot. They're all good-looking people. Which, at the very least, again, that deserves. Thankfully, you watch some of these new shows like Succession. I like Succession, but why is everyone so stupidly ugly? I don't get it. It's so crazy. Like it's like you can have really good, compelling story writing, and everyone's ugly, or you can have crap, lazy writing, but they fill it with attractive people. Pick. You got to pick one. You can't have both.
Christopher May says he wants to see their babies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Look at those eyes. Oh yeah.
They you know what? Their babies they'd be so attractive. They would come out with Abercrombie and Fitch modeling contracts. All right.
That's the episode.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now they're back together. They broke up at the beginning of the episode. They're back together at the end. All right, now I'm going to give this episode overall 2 upvotes. Because if I hate an episode, I'll usually give it 2 downvotes at the end. If I love an episode, I'll give it 2 downvotes. Now, I didn't like or hate this episode, but I'm going to classify it as proper Star Trek. So because I liked it enough, and it was a real Star Trek episode of TV, it was a real science fiction story, it got the 2 upvotes from me.
Okay. I'm not going to adjust my vote any. This is actually, out of the first 4 episodes of this season, this was my least favorite episode, even though I do agree with you, it's the most Star Trek of them. But I think an argument could be made. Again, I'm biased. I really love City on the Edge of Forever. I've got the actual original script that Harlan Ellison did, and then I've got a comic book adaptation of that, and I've always loved that. And that last week's episode really reminded me of that a lot. So I think an argument could be made that it really was a Star Trek episode as well, just pacing issues and things like that, like we talked about. I talked about on my other show last week, would have made it better. But like if I were to give this a score, we do like 1 out of 10 on the other show, I'd probably give this a 6, you know.
That high, huh?
Well, I mean, because the way we do it over there, 5 is like, would you rather watch the episode or watch paint dry? You go with, okay. If you'd rather watch paint dry, then it's 4 or below. So, but yeah. That was
it's right above paint drying.
Yeah. So
my thing is like this. Would you rather watch an episode of Ben Shapiro or this? So
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah. So like if you want to watch would you rather watch a Ben Shapiro podcast or this? I'd rather watch this.
I'd rather watch this. Yeah.
Ben Shapiro's just so boring. And that said, I gotta sell you something. Let's talk about silver and gold. Guy drives me nuts. All right, Christopher Mays, I see super chats here 20 minutes ago. I don't know why I'm not seeing these. Michael Nemo asked about super chats. I didn't see him come in.
So here, you got a super chat from Christopher Mays for $4.99. Says, Brian, please compare and contrast the Groundhog Day episodes of TNG and SG-1 and explain why SG-1's was vastly superior. I think this was in the very beginning when we were waiting for people to show up. And
yes, I will. So I'll talk about that. Let me figure out these other super chats real quick.
Yeah, and then Michael Nemo for $2 asks, does the deflector dish not work? And then Michael Nemo for another $2 says, no Starfleet training on being left behind then. Question mark. Question mark.
Say it again. Where are you seeing these?
These are in the chat, the members chat. It says,
they're in members chat. I see.
Yeah, Michael Nemo, $2. No Starfleet training on being left behind. Then I'm referring to that Zachary kid that got left behind. And then he has another $2 super chat. Why are Pike's quarters in the front of the ship?
Yeah, can you? Okay, so can you answer those, and I'll fill in when I'm setting this up.
Yeah, sure. Let's go up. So the deflector dish, not working. Again, like I was saying during the stream, I think that they just want to make Ortegas look like some hotshot pilot. So she's got to do all these fancy tricks where she blows stuff up and flies the ship through it. But they don't really, I don't know if the deflector dish is malfunctioning or not. They don't ever say. And then that's a good question about the no training on being left behind. Even if they did, clearly this kid is like I hate that I know they can't always tie up every loose end, but clearly that kid's getting in some kind of trouble. Like he's, because Pike does take him back and he's going to get.
Yeah, obviously he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah, at the very least, court-martialed or something.
If we see that guy in the engineering section next week all cleaned up, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Yeah. And then as far as Pike's quarters in the front of the ship, I don't know. I can only theorize on that, but maybe he opted for, instead of the captain's yacht, he wanted a boss-ass suite, like a Bellagio style suite for a bedroom.
It's not that. It's that it's unsafe for the ship. You don't want to have the captain of the ship in the most vulnerable part of the ship. Right?
I agree, but apparently Michael Nemo's saying that Pike's quarters are in the very front of the ship. Which I'm not sure. I don't have any schematics.
So on that note, though, if they are, that's it's non-canonical according to the Prime timeline. Also, his quarters are way too big if you're comparing them to the Prime timeline.
Yeah.
Everything about his quarters are completely off. The fact that he has a full kitchen in his quarters is just silly as hell.
Yeah.
It's super silly. It's not a thing. It's not. These aren't cruising yachts. These are our military vessels. I know it's not military, but they operate the same way as another.
Yeah.
So it's so inefficient to have, like, why is there no galley? Is there a galley on? Is there not a galley on the ship? Is there no 10 forward? I don't understand why his quarters are the 10 forward. Why are the captain's quarters the 10 forward of the ship? They're always the captain's quarters. Very odd.
Oh, Chappie's got the answer for you, Mr. Nemo. He says the deflector dish will be installed on Tuesday. So there we go. Oh, you got another super chat from Rebecca Spade, $2. Is there a spin the wheel this week? Is her question.
We'll do spin the wheel for Unleashed. It looks like probably Christopher Mays again. He's once again taken over the stream here again.
Yeah, right. And I didn't think it would be fair for me to enter, and pay you money while I'm on your show. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, did you see that episode where you lost by like seconds to someone?
No, my mom was telling me about it though.
Yeah. You lost by literal seconds to, I forgot who it was. I think it was Michael Nemo actually. Yeah, by seconds.
I'm still supposed to get some kind of mug, but I don't know. I'm gonna worry about that after I move.
Yeah. You're getting a mug. Yeah, we're just waiting. Yeah, I have a little care package going out to you.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I got you an honorary. There's an honorary Popcast. I forgot what it said, but basically it says like, it looks like you're like a temporary Popcast cast member. So, they used to have these things when I worked at craft services for a while for the movie theaters, where they would give you like a cast member shirt, but it was a different color and it said temporary, so that you would know your place while you were there.
Yeah, no, I'll get you my new address, and we can take care of that in a couple weeks or whatever.
Cool. Gavin Blackburn asks, is the Discovery Season 2 finale, the Enterprise carried 1,500 shuttles for the end battle? What? Is that real? The Enterprise carried 1,500 shuttles.
I mean, I never saw more than like 3 or 4 at a time.
Like, that is such a massive departure from like it would be so big. The ship would be. I mean, I know the ships are bigger, but that is like.
Oh, Discovery though. Okay, yeah, that's why. There you go.
I mean, that's obscenely too large. Honestly, 1,500 shuttles. God damn. All right. Yeah, so that's the end of the review. Looks like we got a negative 0.5. It's not bad, actually.
Sorry.
So no, it's not.
Oh,
it's not bad. I mean, look. Remember, last episode was in the negatives, and the first episode was basically a 0. So, honestly, this series so far is not really. It's hovering around flat line. Yeah. It's not like it's bad. It's not like it's good. It just sort of is. I'm noticing that.
It's just sort of there.
It's just sort of there. It's there. And it's better than watching paint dry or Ben Shapiro. That's what we know right now. This show is better than watching something else that's boring. Yeah, so I guess that's better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Don't we sound like abused, like domestic abuse victims? Like we just like, it's so sad. Yeah. It's just like we've gotten so much crap Star Trek over the past decade or whatever that we're like the bar is so low. It's like
pretty bad. All right, so on that note, let me clear this screen. That's it for Strange New Worlds. Hopefully you came back for the end of the thing. We are going to be talking a little bit. We have some more things to talk about, so don't go nowhere. Can you let us know what are we talking about right now, Danny?
Alrighty, so I had it up a second ago.
I thought you had it.
I did. And then we had all those technical difficulties.
It's okay.
So here it is. Robert Downey Jr. reportedly seen on the Captain America Brave New World set was one, and the other one was the Indiana Jones Dial of Dysentery flop.
I'm calling it. I'm calling these new things. I'm calling them ready. Flopbusters.
Flopbusters. There you go. I like it.
They're blockbusters.
Trademark that.
Yeah. Is there a domain name for that? Let me just check that out. They're blockbusters that should make money regardless. Like, even if they're bad, even if they have a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, they should still make money, right?
Yeah.
I'm checking to make sure to see if that's before someone else does.
That's too funny.
But we're in this new era of movies where I believe that you can no longer guarantee someone bought Flopbusters. Which one of you autists bought Flopbusters already?
Who is that shit? Shiz.
The thing is this. These movies should make money regardless, right? And I gotta say, I didn't like Indiana Jones, but I actually loved The Flash.
You and I are on the exact same page.
So I don't fully understand. Yeah. I don't fully understand this aversion to these blockbusters.
Well, with The Flash, I guarantee it's Ezra Miller. It's 100%. If they should have done,
do normies know about Ezra Miller?
I don't know, man. It made such like the news, like it made normal news, like so maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's such a backlash against that actor. They would have done better to do the Kevin Spacey thing where they replaced him digitally with Christopher Plummer or whatever. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah.
When he was, they should have done something like that, or just. I mean, there was just no way, because it's a good movie. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I can think of is that it's the Ezra Miller backlash. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I know the CGI was a little rough in areas, but that never bothered me. I don't think it bothers most people. The thing is this, I can't wait to see what Oppenheimer and Barbie and Mission Impossible do?
Well, Mission Impossible, is going to make $1 billion. I mean,
Well, I thought The Flash was going to make $1 billion.
I never did. I knew The Flash was going to flop. I just like
I thought Black Adam was going to make $1 billion.
Now I did think that about Black Adam.
Like it was promoted by one of the most followed people on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Black Adam made $475 million without a China opening. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So China is usually about the same. Like if you're making 200 million here, you're gonna make 200 million in China. So they never got China opening, which means that the other DC films did. So had Black Adam gotten the China opening, it probably would have been right up there with Man of Steel and Wonder
What's the story behind that? Why didn't he get Black Adam get a China opening?
Because China hates David Zaslav.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but like a big reason is David Zaslav is sort of like almost like a Donald Trump when it comes to the way he operates.
Mm-hmm.
He runs, he moves fast, and he breaks things, and he doesn't really care if it gets in your way. He has a goal, and like his goal is to make, let's say his goal is to make this profitable, and he doesn't care about feelings. He's just gonna cut all this stuff that doesn't make it profitable. He removes the cancer and he installs people that he thinks have the ability to maintain something long term, so that it pumps up the numbers that they can either sell it off, or maybe he's just successful in his endeavor. I actually respect David Zaslav in the sense where he is able to completely divorce himself of the social aspect of business and just run the machine. The guy is he does business the way you would play a video game. Like if there was a CEO simulator,
mm-hmm.
that dude is like he's the best player of that. Because like it doesn't matter if someone is close to someone else or the politics of the situation, he'll axe. I call him the axe man because he'll axe whatever is requiring of axing.
Except the Flash, apparently. I mean, he's got a lot of egg on his face with that movie. I mean, that's a huge loss.
The thing is, though, it shouldn't have been.
I agree.
So why aren't people watching the movie?
So like even Chappie's like in the chat says he's still not gonna, even though we're saying the Flash is good, he's still not gonna watch it. So Chappie, if I may, is it the Ezra Miller thing? Why you don't want to see it?
What chat are you seeing? Am I not seeing?
This is the members only chat. I've got them both. I got the 3 monitors.
Oh, going. I see it. Yeah.
But let me know what you think if you're still around, Chappie. But like I don't know. I thought as much as I dislike Ezra Miller, I have to give him credit. I mean, he gave a good performance. He made me cry a couple times. That end scene with his mom in the shopping market. Good Lord, that got me.
I do not like Ezra Miller. I don't like the man. I think there's something wrong with him.
Oh yeah. Understatement of the year.
Yeah, for real. But I'm not, when I go to watch it, I'm not watching that movie thinking. I never watch a movie thinking about how much of a dirtbag the actors are, because like, boy, there are so many movies that you wouldn't be able to watch if you knew details of actors. Like,
right. So
I've known actors that are complete and utter trash bags, and you wouldn't know that. Ethan Peck is a trash bag. He is. I'm not gonna let.
Play Spock.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it change my opinion of Spock, but the actual actor is a dick. He's a massive dick. Yeah. Now Anson Mount is one of the nicest actors I've ever met. Again, that's not gonna stop me from criticizing him though, for his cooking and hair and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Notice the hair kind of like. Everybody loved his hair, but this season they've brought it down. It doesn't have that pomp to it like it used to.
Right. I'm sorry, I missed something.
Oh no, you're fine, man. But the Indiana Jones thing, though, that to me is kind of surprising, kind of not surprising. Like, because one, it just wasn't good, but two, you'd think that like with the Indiana Jones name, Harrison Ford, and John Williams alone, you think it would have had a decent opening, but it didn't even get 60 million.
So I have a theory about Kathleen Kennedy. I feel like Kathleen Kennedy needs to be fired. And let me explain.
Yeah.
Not because she makes bad movies, or because she's damaged properties. I'm not in that same camp with people. I don't really know which way to think. But I can tell you, business wise, she's only ever failed Disney.
Yeah, and she loses them money.
People go, well, it's because the cultists out there that hate her, that promote people not watching the movie. I'm like, well, maybe it is. Maybe it's the cultists that hate her. Maybe it's that she makes bad movies. Regardless of how you play it out, the results are the same. Either way, it's a loss for Disney. So you gotta say, like, you can't keep the Kathleen Kennedy, even if you like her. Even if you think that's not her fault, the movies are bad. Bottom line is, the results are the same. So far, without fail, it's just been failure after failure after failure.
Yeah.
So she's got to go. I don't know what to tell you.
She's got blackmail pictures on somebody. I don't know, like, because she's lost so much money. And she's damaged so, like, this is like the last franchise she had to destroy. The left on her bingo card, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you know what the crazy thing too is, like, I'm looking at like, she really has damaged these things to the point where they are almost unrecoverable. And I think I'm okay with that now. I don't think anyone was doing Star Wars correctly after the original movies. I don't know,
man. Rogue One's good. I like Rogue One a lot.
Rogue One was good, but it wasn't. It was more like in the Star Wars universe than Star Wars. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of the Skywalker saga or whatever. I got this thing though where I'm like, I know people still like the prequels, but dude, listen, like, do we all have like some kind of like Stockholm syndrome? Because the prequels were not good.
Yeah, no. I think that's just nostalgia. People looking through rose-colored glasses, not remembering how terrible they are.
I went to go watch. I was going to watch Star Wars chronologically with my kids. Dude, I couldn't get to the first movie, dude. It was just, to me, it was just so boring and poorly done. I just couldn't get through it. I didn't like it. I know people do like them, and they are better than, like, say, the 8 or 9. But not by much. Honestly, not by much. I think that's just nostalgia. You know, time softens, rough edges. Just like rivers moving through a canyon, time will soften the rocky, sand and all that. Same thing with movies and TV and stuff. Time softens sometimes how bad things are. And, but only if you're not like me and you don't constantly watch it. You know, like, I watch these things nonstop. So, like, maybe that's why I don't allow time to go past long enough, you know? I know we have the members show time stop hour. I'll push that back until we're done here. All right, so so speaking of the flopbuster, here's my theory. My theory, and it's going to be confirmed with Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Oppenheimer, period piece, made by Chris Nolan, right? Chris Nolan?
Yep.
Made by Chris Nolan on IMAX screens. This is so obviously a win for whatever studio greenlit this thing. That should be a no-brainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if Oppenheimer doesn't make $1 billion, what do you think?
I'll be surprised. I mean, unless the movie just turns out to be bad, but everything I've heard about it is it's supposed to be
No. Take away bad and good, because that shit don't matter, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
It matters to us, but it did not matter. Pre-COVID, a movie being bad or good had nothing to do with its success rate. Not
Fair
these big,
enough.
not these big blockbusters, right? Well, how many Transformers are we on now? Like 13? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see the last couple. Yeah.
Yeah. This last Transformer movie is not making any money. Why? Why isn't it making money? Why did every other piece of trash Transformer make plenty of money? This one's not. Why wouldn't The Flash make money? Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, Wonder Woman, even the Suicide Squad made more money. They all made money. They don't have to be good to make money. They just have to be blockbusters.
Right. Okay.
Indiana Jones, the 5th movie in a franchise that has spanned since the 80s. This movie should be bringing in hand over fist. Even if you don't like Fleabag, even if you're watching YouTube and you know all the controversy, you know how it's delayed. Let's say you're actually staying on top of it. What are the percentage of people who actually know about the problems that are watching it? Come on.
It's really low. No, that movie should have, by all accounts, opened up to $100 million, opening weekend, and it would have back in the day. So you got me curious now. So what's your theory? Is it
right? So my
streaming?
Theory is going to be confirmed with Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible should be an automatic win.
Yeah.
Let's look at track history. Every Mission Impossible movie has banked.
Yeah.
Every single one. Every Tom Cruise movie pretty much banks.
Except for The Mummy, but yeah.
Oh, The Mummy made money, though. It was bad movie. Made money. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it did. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you how much exactly.
Yeah, because back to, I know Oppenheimer only cost $100 million to make, where you got Indiana Jones cost $300 million. It's probably not even going to make nowhere near its money back.
Yeah,
and
dude,
I bet you
The Mummy had made $410 million.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. So I'd be surprised.
So that's the question.
I bet you Mission Impossible will be $1 billion.
So Mission Impossible is automatic. It should be an automatic win. If you got the last real movie star on the planet making what's the part 1 of his final Mission Impossible movie, also spanning a couple decades of time. Mm-hmm. Oppenheimer, from one of the most prolific directors and writers, Christopher Nolan, of our time, starring a cast that would make a theater teacher's rock hard, and you got this should be automatic wins, and they're looking at like projections of 150 million dollars, where Oppenheimer's going to make its money back in the first 3 days, right?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't? Because my theory is this.
Okay.
Oppenheimer makes $350 million, and that's a win for them because their budget was $100 million.
Yeah.
It should do $1 billion.
It should.
Mission Impossible is going to make $413 million worldwide, including China. Should be $1 billion. I'm pointing numbers on my butt.
Yeah, I get you, but why? Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at 2 weeks ago on Salty Nerds. I was looking up stats, and movie-going audiences were down to 43% since pre-pandemic. 43%. Since 2 weeks ago, I looked up the same number. It's already 5 points higher than it was then. 48% loss of moviegoers since 2019.
Wow. You think that's streaming? Do you think it's increased ticket prices?
In 2 weeks. That's not a slow progression. That's a death spiral, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a pull up moment.
Yeah.
Right? They are jackhammering into the ground right now. So I think that people don't really care about the movies anymore. I think that having movies like, bro, I was going to go see Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that the forking movie comes out in a week on digital.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
It's week from now, so I can go spend $100 to take my kids to see that movie, or I can spend $14 on Amazon Prime in a week.
Yeah.
bro, I don't. It's
Yeah.
It's like having this month turnaround time for a movie. Straight the streaming services, the streaming wars are damaging, almost permanently. I think, damaging theaters. They're damaging the
Yeah.
experience. People are realizing that they don't have to be first because they don't have to wait very long. Now, what's the flip side?
Back in the day, it used to be like 3-4 months at
It used to be
least, you
6,
know?
7 months.
Yeah.
Disney would
You
come
know?
out with a movie, and you wouldn't even know if there was gonna be a home release. Remember they had the Disney Vault. If you
The
didn't
vault,
watch it,
yeah.
if you didn't watch it in theater, you might not ever see it again. Period. The end.
Yeah.
Well, now Disney is coming out with same day releases where it's in the theater and on digital for $20. You can
This doesn't
own
make sense.
you can own it for less than it would cost you for the single ticket to go watch it. Why would you go to the theater at that point? It's like at this point, people going to theaters are the enthusiasts that want to see it 3 or 4 weeks early. I don't think there's enough people like us to keep these companies afloat. There just
You
isn't.
might be onto something, man. Now I'm gonna have to, and I don't normally pay attention to like box office stuff, like like ODB and all these other, Renegade and those guys. But I think I'm gonna. I think there's something to your theory here, so I'm gonna keep an eye on those two in particular, for sure.
I mean, just look at the track record. What movie? What was the last movie that made $1 billion besides Mario Brothers?
I was gonna say Mario Brothers.
Right. Now, why did Mario Brothers make $1 billion?
Oh, there's so many different reasons, but I think that mostly because
every
it
single
spans so many.
Right. It spans 3 generations of people. I mean, dude, when you have a property, your camera quality is so bad right now, it's incredible.
I'm sorry.
when you have a property, an IP that spans and crosses into 3 generations of people, then it's an automatic win. Like you can only fail if you insult them at that point. And that movie didn't insult anyone. In fact, it celebrated itself and it celebrated our love for it. And it showed you every generation.
It didn't have an agenda. It wasn't agenda driven.
Right.
Have all the,
so let's say, Dad went to go watch it. And you think he's not coming back with his kids the next day? You don't think he's telling his buddy, oh, bro, they had this thing in there. They had this. So the word of mouth was real big. I wasn't going to go watch the movie. I was going to wait. But then Shane saw it and friends of ours online were like, well, it was really fun. And I'm like, well, okay. Then I took my kids. That movie is special in the way that it spanned 3 generations of people. And it crossed into every single sort of zeitgeist, into every part of the zeitgeist, and it allows you it connects with people to the point where it doesn't matter if it's too expensive or there are problems with this actor or there are problems with this reviewer or whatever. It's more like this is it's a cultural moment. Black Adam wasn't really a cultural moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Flash, I think, was great, but it wasn't a cultural moment. We had already seen super speed on TV, on movies, and I would argue they probably did it better.
I really thought Michael Keaton would have made a difference, though.
Michael Keaton should have been the cultural moment. It's Batman. Yeah. It's my Batman. The Batman I grew up with, coming back after all this time. And I felt it was, but it wasn't enough. Because remember this, bro. That's our generation.
Yeah.
Right? That's our generation. That's not my dad's generation. And that's not my kid's generation.
Right.
So you're getting one generation of people who also happen to dominate the YouTube space, which effectively puts us in this weird chamber of this echo chamber where we're all like, we want to see Batman, and everyone agrees we want to see Batman, but we're not realizing that it's only our one generation. My kids don't care about it.
Yeah.
I have a 22-year-old guy that works for me. He's a good guy. I tell him, hey, you gonna see the Flash? He goes, I'm probably gonna wait. I'm like, I thought you liked comic book movies. He goes, yeah, but this one's not really connected to anything, and like this isn't, and they don't even have the real Batman in it. They have some old Batman. I'm like, some old Batman?
Blasphemy.
I almost punched that guy in the face. And to this 22-year-old guy, Ben Affleck is Batman. You understand that?
Wow. Yeah.
To him, that's his Batman. Think about it.
Well, then he's really gonna hate the Flash.
Well, bro, so he's 22 though, right? He literally, his formative teenage years was Man of Steel, right? 2014. This guy was like, he's 22. So how long has it been? It's been 10 years. So he started watching the Snyderverse is his movie universe.
Yeah, he was 10, when he started it.
Right,
so, yeah.
And so the Flash comes out, and it has some people he's never even seen before. And from his point of view, that's a bad idea. It's not that it's a bad idea, but from his point of view, it is. Why is there no Ben Affleck? Why isn't that the real Batman? That's in his mind, the real Batman. That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
So you have these cultural moments like Mara Brothers, who it literally hits every generation of people, from my young 12-year-old twins all the way to my dad, who remembered playing the Donkey Kong game at an arcade. You understand?
Yeah.
Three to four generations of people right there, bro. Spanning anywhere from 8 years old to 65 years old, and you capture everyone.
Yeah.
Cultural.
Well, what was your theory?
Wait, right before that, the next movie break $1 billion was Maverick.
Yes, Top Gun Maverick. Yes.
Cultural moment.
Yeah.
You had
a legacy sequel done right, in my opinion.
Right. What was he? See, and there's it doesn't even matter if it was. Yes, I agree with you, but it doesn't matter if it was done right. The legacy sequel makes it sort of an automatic win. The word of mouth makes it a cultural phenomenon. Yeah. So Top Gun Maverick comes out. It gets enough people to get the ball rolling. Its quality is what gets the ball rolling for the word of mouth campaign that makes it $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You can lie to me all you want with your bullshit Rotten Tomato scores and your, for some reason, Tom Cruise saying how great The Flash was. I'm not sure you remember that.
Yeah.
None of that matters. People have to hear it from people they trust. Either they hear it from people they trust on YouTube, like us, hopefully, or they hear it from their buddies at work or at school, whatever. That's what they're buying. They're willing to, they'll spend the money. But someone's got to tell them 2 weeks ahead of time that Picard season 3 is a decent, a good watch. You know?
Yeah.
Like, how many people are just so, what does Michael Nemo say? Yeah, I'll read that. 1 second. How many people are so, just utterly defeated by movies not caring about them anymore, that it requires the buy off of someone else that took the risk before they'll take that risk. You know? Yeah. So Michael Nemo said something. I can't put it on chat because it's in the other room. He says, "Do you think it's a weird flex to see articles saying Indy was defeated by a Christian movie than just to say Indy was surpassed by a smaller film?" Yeah. Yeah, because they don't.
What is this Christian movie called again? Because my mom texted me about it, said it was good.
Oh, Sound of Freedom. Great
Sound
movie.
of Freedom. Is it? Okay.
First off, Christian movie is a bit, it's reductive. I'm not trying to reduce Christians.
Right.
But the movie, just because it was made by a Christian person and it has a message of morality, doesn't make it a Christian film. Here we go. I'm Christian, and I don't listen to Christian music because it sucks. I don't watch Christian movies because they suck. The second you put the label of Christian on something, it probably means it's going to suck. No offense, but they're just not quality. They bank on the fact that there's not a lot of them to get Christians to watch them. Christian music is usually recycled from actual good music, and they just put they put Christian names in there. And so it's not very good. I watch movies and TVs and music that inspire me despite what their label is.
Right.
Sound of Freedom is a movie that had me in tears by the end of the movie. It's a powerful film, and it's a true story. It's a true story about something that's going on right now. And so many people won't talk about it. They won't address it because it's an uncomfortable topic. It won't make it's not going to get headlines on CNN. It's not going to make clicks on YouTube. No one wants to sit there and talk about how millions of children are being trafficked around the world on a daily basis because it's not going to make any money or get any views. This movie was made by Jim Caviezel and another Christian dude. And I'm not saying Christian as a reductive term. That's because that's what the articles all say he is. But people that are passionate about spreading the word that God's children are not for sale. Period. The end. These are children. Leave the kids alone. That's basically what the movie is.
So this is. I just read the because I didn't know anything about the movie, and so I just read the little blurb from IMDb. Former government agent turns vigilante. Blah blah blah. And this is a true story.
True story.
Wow.
It's a true story. The guy is still alive. After he saved like 115 kids, he came back to the States and he testified before Congress. And he basically bullied a bunch of soft pansy politicians into enacting new rules and laws and like sort of standard operating procedure that would limit the ability to traffic kids and to enhance the ability for these agencies to find them. It's honestly a really good movie. I don't normally like these kind of movies. I like movies that are like action adventure and explosions, and there's a little bit of that in here, but not much. This movie really is it's just a story. It's not, they didn't amplify the exciting parts.
Oh, wow. The guy and I share a last name. That's crazy. The Jim Caviezel character, Mira Sorvino character, they share a last name with me. I wonder if
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right. And Jim is awesome. He's a really good actor. So the thing is, I'm watching this and I'm like, I didn't watch it because it was a Christian film. I watched it because it was 4th of July and I had seen the trailer and I loved Jim Caviezel and I went to go watch it. Like I said, I actually avoid movies that have a Christian title because I know they're probably going to be bad. But this movie was actually really good. Really good movie. Really there's a heartbreaking story. It's inspiring. You feel sort of bad for some reason by the time you leave. It's very weird. Like you're like, damn.
And it outperformed Indiana Jones. Is that what the chat said? Is that true?
I mean, that wouldn't have been very hard though.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. The thing is, the movie is really good. I can't recommend it enough. And at some point, I think that Jim Caviezel actually breaks in and talks just as himself. And he tells people, like, look, this is a hard conversation to have. The topic is really uncomfortable. No one wants to talk about these kind of things. You're going to lose engagement. No one wants to talk on YouTube about like children being trafficked. No one does. Frankly speaking, I don't think Hollywood wants you to talk about it either. There was a weird thing where he was like, look, for 5 years we tried to get the movie out and we were blocked for 5 years. They wouldn't allow these movies to come out. They had to make so many changes to the story and to adjust but they refused to make changes that would change the story itself. Right. But like, remember, like there's actual names of people in there. Like, so there's legal things going on here too. So here's the deal. If you go to the theater, and you want to actually have a good time, this movie is worth your time. It's not going to some big giant studio. It's going to a small production team that were willing to lose money just to get this story out there. Like they literally wrote into their project that this was going to cost them this much. Not this should make this much. Their projection was hopefully we only lose this much. They planned to lose money just to get the movie out, just to tell the story. That's really special. And I think that we should support people like that. And, so go check it out.
My mom sent me a QR code. Apparently people can go use this code and see the movie for free, or you can buy tickets to pay it forward so others can see it for free.
So you can actually buy tickets so that you can buy tickets for other people to watch it for free. Mm-hmm. And I did. I actually bought 5 tickets after I left. It was just too good of a movie not to. Yeah. My wife actually made the mistake and bought. She wanted to buy 1 ticket and bought 10. Bro, and I'm like looking at the credit card, but I'm like, what the? Like, it wasn't that good of a movie. What's wrong with you?
So it must have moved your wife as well.
Oh yeah, powerful. I mean, it's a true story, and like the people, they risked so much to help people they didn't even know.
I'm gonna look into it. I wonder if I'm related to this Tim guy.
Dude, listen, it's true heroics, dude. Yeah. It's true heroics. It's not the kind of hero story that where the guy has a gun and smoking a cigarette and being all badass. It's just sort of a true story. And the only thing I can criticize is, damn it, I left feeling unfulfilled because I really wanted to watch a pedophile's head get cut off, or something really bad happen.
Yeah.
And they don't show you that because that's not important to the story. And this movie's all about the story. Mm-hmm. But boys, I want to see Jim Caviezel just beat the ever-living shirt out of a pedophile. Especially after they set the pedophile up as such an evil person. I was like, we're going to see him get murdered.
Who played the pedo?
There's a bunch of pedos in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, there's a ton of pedos.
I was just going to say, it's like, that's kind of a risky role to take on, too.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of pedos in this movie. Like, a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, back to your Flopbusters theory. Guardians is pushing around 850 million. Do you think it'll hit the billion mark?
Interesting.
And it's been out 10 weeks.
Interesting. It's been out 10. Is it still in the theaters?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That can't be true.
Yeah. Here. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. Let's search. All right. Yeah, I can go see it today at Sunset Station at 6:50 or 10:30. I can go to Cinemark, watch it at 9:25.
Yeah, I mean, I can also buy it on.
So far, it's got 838.3 million. So it was a little hyperbole.
But it's over now. So it comes out on digital tonight.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Oh, well,
I'm looking at it right now. I can pre-order it for 7/7, which is tomorrow, which means tonight at midnight. So this is the last week.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not going to get to a billion, but so this had a long run though. Honestly, this is longer than I expect. 10 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
That must have been a James Gunn kind of thing. James Gunn has a lot of control over his movies because he writes that in his contract. It might be also that's the last James Gunn movie with Marvel. I don't know. I thought it was a good movie.
I liked it a lot.
Wasn't bad. It wasn't the best one, but it wasn't bad either.
No. But and you said Spider. See, these studios are shooting themselves in the foot. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has made over $600 million, but it's coming out in a week digitally. Right. Like, why would they do that to themselves? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, they should run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my kids are, my 14 and my 17-year-old are artists, and they loved the first movie. So I took them the Thursday, preview show, because it was really cool watching my kids watch the movie because they were sitting on the edge of their seats, just like taking it all in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that there was no way I was going to be able to wait for that one and not get scolded by my children.
Did you look at Fast 10? Fast 10 box office, okay? Or Fast X? I'm just going to say Fast 10, okay?
Okay.
That's what it is. So Fast and Furious 10 is titled Fast X.
Right.
Has grossed just under $420 million worldwide. And they got a worldwide release.
That's not good for one of those movies.
Not for one of those movies. That's actually that's probably that's one of the smallest movies that in the Fast franchise since it came back.
Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I think there's a lot to these studios. They either got
Dude, it only made $128 million in the US.
Oh, I can't believe it. Man, that's a flop then. That's not good.
Bro, without the international release, this movie is an absolute flop, a total bomb. Yeah. The international release is what gives it over 60% of its profit. So when Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible come out, you got to think: is Mission Impossible a cultural moment? Is it, or is it another sequel? It is part one of the end of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
But what movie made more money? Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame? Avengers Endgame.
Endgame, right?
So Infinity War was the part one. It was the setup to the end of the franchise. And it made money, but it didn't make as much as Endgame. So I don't know if the part one, people might be willing to wait for part one of Mission Impossible, come out on VOD, and then maybe part two is the banger that is an actual cultural moment because it marks the end of a franchise. And probably the retirement of Tom Cruise, honestly. That would be a cultural moment. But I don't think this movie is the cultural moment. I think the next movie will be the cultural moment.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Is Oppenheimer a cultural moment?
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a good movie. Christopher Nolan makes beautiful looking movies and it's shot on IMAX, but do enough people even care?
Do enough people care about, the Oppenheimer project? And I got to tell you, as someone who is fascinated with technology, Einstein, all this history about that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's not a secret. I already know the story. Now, do I want to hear and see it played on screen? Sure, I'm gonna watch it. But am I excited? No, maybe not. I mean, I'm excited for the visuals. But am I excited for the story? I already know the story. That's the problem when you make a historically accurate
period
piece. Something actual true story. There's less people going to be interested because they already know the end of the story. They know how it ends. They know how it begins and how it ends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even. Arkham Age Frey, I think you're right. Barbie is probably more of a cultural moment than Oppenheimer. I mean, I don't plan on seeing Oppenheimer, to be honest with you. I'll watch it when it streams, but I'm not going to the theater.
Yeah, I already have tickets. I'm going to go watch it. But yeah, I understand that a lot of people that don't really care. Or they'll watch it eventually, but they're not going to go out of their way to watch it. Meanwhile, Barbie, that is a cult. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Barbie is a cultural moment. Barbie is this movie about, it's a plastic. It's such an odd thing. It's like the first Lego movie. It's just such an interesting, weird thing that I think the Barbie movie is going to make some bank. So I think what determines your worth at the box office now isn't going to be how much money you spent or what actors you got or when you released or what franchise you're a part of. I think it's going to be, is this a cultural moment?
Yeah.
And then if it's a cultural moment and it's good, then you'll get enough people in the beginning that will get the word out and give you your finish line. I think that's what's required. I think it's very similar to YouTube. You know, I've made videos about old episodes of TNG that got like 10,000 views, which is not much for my regular channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made videos talking about a trailer for an upcoming Lower Decks that has 100,000 views. Is that saying the quality of the TNG episode was lower than Lower Decks? No, but people like to look forward to things.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone wants to be so retrospective. So movies and TV shows that are about retrospective ideas, they need to be pretty far away from home so that the story isn't, is something that a lot of people like to know more about. Or it's got to do something unique. And I know that I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer, but I don't think everyone else is. I don't think a lot of regular people are like, I can't wait to see this film. And for me, it's not that I can't wait to see the film because of the story, because I don't care. I know the story. I want to see the visual aspect of it, the art of the filmmaking. I think Christopher Nolan is a genius.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if I were to see it in the theater, I have to see it in IMAX. Otherwise, what's the point? Might as well watch it at home on my 70-inch. But like, do I want to spend I think one ticket, IMAX ticket's like $35. It's like, so just on tickets, if I want to take a date,
they shot in IMAX for the explosions and all that or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you're gonna spend $35 on a ticket to see a nuclear explosion for like 3 minutes. Because the rest of the film is dialogue and exposition, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's crazy to me that you would spend that much money for that. Really,
but I won't. That's my point.
I'm not gonna watch an IMAX. But the thing
you're
is,
not?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dude. You want to watch an IMAX? Mission Impossible, Black Adam.
Yeah.
I watch big movies. I gotta be honest. Tom Cruise should be pissed that his movie didn't get any IMAX films because Oppenheimer took them all. He should be. The fact that it's such a vanity thing that Oppenheimer gets the IMAX release for its 2.5 minutes of nuclear explosion footage, and when the rest of the movie is going to be dialogue and scientists, and it's I'm sure it'll be interesting, but it's not action adventure film. Meanwhile, you got Mission Impossible, who can't get an IMAX theater because they're all taken up by Oppenheimer, and it's an actual movie that would benefit from an IMAX screen.
Yeah.
Anyways, Aquaman 1 IMAX, great, awesome, loved it, great. Was the movie very good? Nah, it's all right. But the theater, like that, seeing it all big on the screen, like that was pretty awesome. I watched Black Adam in 4DX IMAX, and it was outstanding. I also had back problems when I left because it was how much it was shaking the chairs.
Oh yeah.
But it was cool. So I don't know, man. It's very expensive, and I don't think it's a cultural moment. I don't think Mission Impossible is either. I think the second movie will be. I don't think the first one is.
I think you're right on that. Actually, on the second Mission Impossible, I think you're right. You're right on with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frey, Archimage Frey.
So we're gonna find out though. I'm not. I don't know. Look, guys. I have tickets to Mission Impossible and I have tickets to Oppenheimer. I do not have tickets to the Barbie movie, but I think the Barbie movie might outperform these other movies. We'll see.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, that means that the next round of movies that are being worked on, they're going to start changing things. They're going to start trying to make everything a cultural moment. And what that's going to do is minimize the cultural moment to the point where that strategy also ends up being ineffective. Because people aren't automatically going to watch a movie just because it's part of a franchise anymore.
Bye, Michael Nemo. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Appreciate you.
Later, brother. All right, so that's that. Now, one more quick thing. And this is a good transition. Is we gotta talk about this Marvel thing.
Okay, yeah, I got that article up.
All right.
Rose.
So, Robert Downey Jr. reportedly seen on Captain America: Brave New World set. So the new Captain America movie where Falcon is actually Captain America. Which, by the way, I understand you're trying to check boxes, but it makes no sense to take an already established superhero and just change his suit.
So I'm going to actually disagree with you on this one. This is they did this in the comics. This is straight.
No. What about
the only thing they skipped was Bucky?
They skipped Bucky.
You know,
but that was a necessary step, bro.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Dude, you read the Falcon putting on the uniform in honor of Bucky and Steve was important. You had to go through Bucky first. He has the super soldier serum. He has the arm. He's the next. He makes some sense. And then Falcon putting it on to honor his fallen friends is what makes it special.
Okay.
It's not special if he's just offered it to him because he happens to be black. That's not special.
So you think this was just a checkbox thing? They were just skipping, like,
yes.
Because they basically turned them into like a buddy cop. You know, that what Falcon Winter Soldier TV show,
right?
You know,
and it makes no sense. Like he's not super strong. That shield's heavy as F. He shouldn't be able to. He would 100% not be able to throw it the way Rogers was. Bucky could have.
Yeah.
You see, if they had used Bucky first and it became an honorable moment for him to take up the costume, it would have painted the audience wouldn't concern themselves with the fact that he's not a super soldier, and they would have just been rooting for him anyways because he's doing the honorable thing. But just changing his name to Captain America is just dumb. They can't skip Bucky. Skipping Bucky.
I think you've sold me on your argument, sir. Yes, I agree.
Skipping Bucky changes the whole point.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, Disney is in a serious issue right now. A serious problem. They're in the middle of a crisis. Their movies are not doing well. Just because you own the franchise doesn't mean you're making money. They have two problems. A, they're making the wrong movies in their franchise. They're making movies no one gives a crap about, like at all. No one gives a shirt about Miss Marvels, okay? You're making movies, but people don't care about.
I forgot that was even coming out. Still.
You're pushing your franchise into a direction that is going to save you money on picking the wrong actors, but you're not actually making movies that anyone wants to see. You're banking on the blockbuster aspect of it, which we just talked about as a failing premise. So now you have movies that no one really cares about on a storyline that for a lot of people ended at Endgame. They just gave up after that. You have a franchise that is as effective as a YouTube channel that hasn't had an upload in 10 years. You're not going to get anywhere with this franchise because you've ran it into the ground. And the way you've done it is, instead of using the momentum of Endgame, you tried to push that free credit you have with your audience by making one of the greatest comic movies of all time, or at least franchises. You tried to push them into a direction that would cost you less. And I'm not going to say it was because it was woke or whatever. Maybe it was. But I do know this. I know that it cost them less money. I know it was less money to tell the story of Kalubla Khan or whatever her name is.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan. Because that character came out in 2014. That means no one owns it but Disney. The actress is an unknown. You're not paying her very much money.
Right.
So you're trying to pivot your franchise into a direction that the wokesters would say is progressive, but in reality it's just sort of cheap. And the audiences want to see it. There's no one that cares about the 2014 character Ms. Marvel. No one. Like, the rest of these characters you grew up with. No one grew up with her. So you have that. And you have movies like The Eternals, where the director had so much control of the output that it didn't even fit. Like, it's hard to even call it a Marvel movie. It feels like a generic science fiction film to me. Chung-Chi, they were so concerned with it being canceled before it can even come out that they went so far away from the comic and so far into let's just say away from the comic, that the movie could have been good, that's fine, but it felt separate from the MCU. And then you got movies like Multiverse of Madness that does follow along with the MCU, except for you better have watched WandaVision or you're screwed.
Right.
Or you would have no idea.
Yeah, my son, my 17-year-old son did not watch WandaVision. Had me take him to see Multiverse of Madness, and he hates it. To this day, he hates that movie.
Right.
He gets mad about it.
Because it makes no sense that this character that used to be a good guy is all of a sudden the bad guy and has kids. Not everyone's watching WandaVision, bro.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to do the same thing right now because you have a movie coming out that's going to feature the TVA from Loki. You do know that very few people watched Loki, right?
What movie's going to have the TVA in?
That one with I'll tell you right now. The Time Variance Authority it's going to be in Deadpool.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So it's going to be in Deadpool. It looks like it might also be in the King, Avengers King, a couple of movie things that's supposed to be in. I'm not even sure if that's going to happen now because your King is in prison or in jail right now.
He is?
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on.
I thought he got off of that, but anyway.
No, he's still in the middle of it. I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm not even going to make a ruling on that because I'm not a judge I don't even know the details. But that can't be good for you. So you have like this, and I can keep going about this, but like it's just not going well. They wanted to save some money. They made some bad movies. It's not working out, and they allowed a lot of sort of progressive, regressive people to take control over the narrative over there, and it's not good. So, what do you do when your tail spinning? Break glass in case of emergency and pull out Robert Downey Jr. for one more romp as Iron Man. And you see that right there, that's a cultural moment. If you legitimately brought back Iron Man in some convoluted way, that would be a cultural moment.
I agree with that statement, but based off the article you sent me and I read it, it sounds like it's probably just a flashback scene, because it's just his character driving, fast cars around the White House, basically. Was the article that,
Well,
so they were driving all sorts of supercars.
So maybe they want him in the trailer, but they don't want to commit to bringing him back. Because they want that new Ironheart character to replace him, and that is the worst character in all of the MCU. Ironheart is the worst character. Character makes no sense. Somehow she's like this 17-year-old girl is just smarter than Iron Man. It's just so weird and cringy. Everything about her is massive cringe, down to her stupid helmet having cornrows. It's cringe.
Oh, the chick from Wakanda Forever. That movie was so bad, I managed to kind of forget about it.
That movie, that movie was so unbelievably bad. I don't know how. And we got this thing where like no one wants to admit that it was bad because they feel like somehow they're being like anti-progressive.
Oh man, Mikey had no problem. I loved Mikey's rant. You remember that? That was an epic rant.
Well,
the Mexican Iron Man.
The best part about that is the bad guy was a Mexican with a literal wet back. Who, if you dried him out, he lost his powers. They literally made super wetback. That's what they made.
These are his opinions, ladies and gentlemen. I may or may not share them.
That's the movie. No, the movie. In the movie, it's the Hispanic guy is the bad guy, and how do you beat him? You dry him out.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude! No one like such a bad movie.
That's a little on the nose. Yeah.
Such a bad movie. It's on, and honestly, no one bought for a second that the 75-pound wet Shuri was going to be Black Panther, and she doesn't pull it off. I'm sorry, that moment where like the suit is coming over her, all of a sudden she has a muscular butt, and you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
she doesn't have a butt. She's literally like she's like as thin as a broom. She's tiny, that tiny little girl, and she's going toe to toe with. So stupid.
Yeah, no, I
know that they were in a position where they lost their brother. They lost the actual actor, but that doesn't mean you have to go on and actually make the movie. You can just not make the movie.
Not make the movie, or just I know it's not popular, but recast.
Or recast.
And
you know what?
So I don't know if you saw.
Marvel did this, bro. Remember when Homeboy didn't want to come back to play War Machine? They were like, okay, well, let's get Don Cheadle.
Or even Edward Norton.
Norton. Yeah, you can recast guys. It's okay. Oh, John. So John Burns.
Yeah, you got three super chats from John Burns. I don't know if you've seen.
I enjoy D&D, and you're a fan of Sir Mix-a-Lot. Okay, yeah. So, baby got back. And you also said Miss Marvel is going up against Chris Evans. Really? No, really.
Yeah, I don't know what he means by that. But anywho.
Andrew, I'll look that up. And he also said, thank you, John Burns. James Gunn is in the chair that Kirk was. Important. Yeah. I think that like there's certain cultural moments that if you hit them, it continues to propel the franchise in a positive direction. And if you miss them, it's like, it's like when you're speed running through Mario Brothers and you jump a little too soon. And if you made the jump, you can continue your speed run, but if you miss it, that's the end. And there's certain characters that if you miss, it's almost unrecoverable. And I think they've missed so hard now. Like, we gave them the benefit of the doubt with Kino and Crystal Skull. We're like, okay. I mean, you had 3 good movies, we'll give you 1. But then with this one, Indiana Jones was just really bad. And I think the Flash
really bad.
The Flash had such bad press for so long, and coming out and saying it was such a mistake, bro. Why did James Gunn come out a week before Black Adam and say that that he was rebooting the DC?
That was the dumbest thing. Kadish has a really great take on it, and I think James Gunn should have, like he said, he should have waited a year. Like he should have done that in January 2024, not January 2023.
Right, I agree.
Because it immediately made everybody not care about these DC movies. And in the true test, you will see, because Aquaman was $1 billion movie. Aquaman 2 is probably going to flop because of this,
And if he would have came out after Aquaman in 2024, right?
Yeah.
I bet you Black Adam, Shazam, The Flash, and Aquaman would have done well still. And in fact, the knowledge that he's taking over the DCU and us not knowing what direction he's actually going in would make us more curious to watch these movies as they came out.
Exactly. That's like, it was so weird.
Instead of him coming out a week before that first movie came out and saying, none of this matters. Good luck, everyone.
It was almost like he wanted to sabotage it.
It felt that way.
Or something. Yeah.
And then announcing that Henry Cavill was not back as Superman. That was painful.
Yeah, that sucked. I was so excited after seeing Henry Cavill and Black Adam. I thought for sure we were going to see him in.
That would be awesome. Yeah, for me, the final movie for me in the DC, like one day I'm gonna collect all these films. And I'm gonna have one DC franchise, and it's gonna have a span between. It's gonna have Michael Keaton's Batman, and probably Batman Returns, just those two.
Right. Man
of Steel. Who Who else would I have in there? Probably Man of Steel.
Batman
BBS.
v Superman,
Yeah,
but you got to have the
BBS.
Extreme Edition though, because that one's
Yeah,
good.
the Extreme Edition. Wonder Woman, but not Wonder Woman 1984. That didn't matter. That wasn't even a part of the franchise. Aquaman and the Flash. I'm gonna have those like movies. I'm gonna have those like that's gonna be my collection. I'm gonna call it the DC universe, circa 2020. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm only gonna include I think the first Batman because the second Batman gets a little wonky, but he's got to be in there so it explains. Like if you're watching my collection, it explains the Flash movie. You know.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, we're going to the members section. Do you guys know how to get there? It's pretty simple. You can hit the link at the bottom of the screen, or just wait, or you can click the join button and join us there. We're gonna go for another 30 minutes or so over there. We're gonna get loose. We're gonna turn the lights down. I'm gonna get oiled up, and I mean, you know what I mean. Anyways, it's gonna be fun. So come on over, my friends. I'm starting that in about a minute. It'll be on the Unleashed channel, and it should already be going on Prime. You got anything to say before we split?
No, man, thanks for having me. Sorry, like the technical difficulties and stuff. And hopefully once I get moved, next time you have me on, I'll, my internet will be a little bit better.
I'm going to start calling you Pixel Man.
Yeah, right. But I had a really, this was fun. I had a good time. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
And for all of those who stuck around all this time and came back, thank you very much. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
And I'll put the link down in all these videos. So a couple things, we did release a video this morning about the alternate timeline. Go check it out if you haven't. Share it and like it. Do all that stuff. Comment on it. Give us that traction. I will be back on. I will not be back, actually. I'll be back on Sunday. Assuming everything goes well, I should relaunch PPH on Sunday. And other than that, I think that's it. So Sunday is Popcorn Power Hour. And we're not doing Raw Rant this Monday. So,
you doing the Saturday show?
I don't know, actually. I might be doing the Saturday show, but like I got some news during this show that might change that. So I don't know yet. If I do, I'll make sure to put it out there. So it looks like the next time I see you guys is going to be on Sunday. Come on over to the member section. We're going to continue this party, but I'm going to turn the lights down and get something to drink. Love you guys. Thank you.